Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi and here I like to talk about luxury beauty, and today we're doing a repurchase review for both October and November. I was sick at the end of the month, beginning of November, so I kind of missed last month, so I figured we'll put them together, but because of that, we have a very long list of items. So if you're new to my channel, repurchase review is where I go through all of the items featured on my channel that month and whether or not I would repurchase them, any like new information or anything that I have or new thoughts that I've come up with since the time of the airing of the video. So today we're going to go through those, but because we have so many items on the list, we're just really going to go through kind of a snapshot real quick. Would I buy it again? Would I not? Yes, no, maybe. And so we're going to go through those. We're going to be working backwards from November all the way to the beginning of October. And we're going to go ahead and get started. If you are interested in more details on any of these items, I do have details in all the videos. And I also tell you like my personal thoughts on the items in the individual videos. So like if, for example, if we're going through a whole collection, I'll tell you which ones were my favorite items and so forth. So let's go ahead and get started. We're starting off with Lisa Eldridge. So with the Lisa Eldridge launch, she released 5 eyeshadow palettes. This one here is Vega, and also some lip pencils, eyeshadow brushes, lipsticks, and so forth. So I'm just going to go ahead and swatch Vega here. This is one of my favorite palettes from this particular launch, and she has just announced that due to popular demand, she will be releasing these palettes separately. So right now she does sell the eyeshadow refills, and you can pop out a shade using one of the holes on the back to replace it with a shade of your choice, or if you've used one up. So she does sell the refills individually, but she does not sell the actual component. However, she has announced that she will be selling those separately, and she's going to have some new color stories coming up. So it sounds like probably her next launch, maybe spring. Not really sure. She did not give a timeline, but I did want to share that news. I thought that was really great news. One thing to note, the eyeshadow refills are about $16 each, and then you'll have the price of the component. So it may or may not actually be a better option to take one that has most of the colors that you like and just replace a few. And then, maybe buy an extra palette for the ones that you are displacing. And you could always gift those to somebody who does prefer those colors as well. So just a thought. So as for the eyeshadow palettes, I think she did a phenomenal job with this launch. And, I think the color stories are nice. They're not unique. So you are going to probably, if those are color stories you're attracted to, you do probably already have similar items in your collection. But I would purchase these again. I picked up Sorcery, Myth, and Vega in the eyeshadow palettes. I would pick up Sorcery and Vega again. I would pass on Myth. I just didn't really love that one for myself. There can be a little bit of eye irritation with a couple of the shades, and I think it's just a palette that looks better on different skin tones than mine. So I think it's a gorgeous palette, just not right for me. And then I picked up the lip pencils in Sorcery and Duchess. I love them. I think they are a great option. If you have any issues with any of her lipsticks or anything, I think the lip pencils are a great way to go. Colors will be slightly deeper in tone than the lipsticks, but they're really, they're just so versatile. They perform really well. They're going to last all day. You can put it on. It's very creamy, but it will set. So I really like those, particularly Duchess. It's just a really beautiful red. So those, I would pick up those items from the Lisa Eldridge launch again. Makeup by Mario. This palette, I have seen so many controversial remarks on this. I would pick it up again. I would repurchase this. I really like it. I think it's a great neutral palette. Yeah, you probably do already have these shades in your collection somewhere. I like having them all together. It's neutral leaning warm though. This is a little bit more of a warmer neutral. You do have some cooler pops in there, but I do think that overall it is a little bit warmer. And I think it's a really great palette though. So I really like this one. I would pick it up again. You do have a metal case. It is a little expensive for what you get, but you know what? You can get this on sale. Right now, if I'm hoping that you guys can see this before all of the Cyber Monday deals end and so forth, but you do have like 25% off its website. Sephora is coming up with another 20% off one-time purchase for everybody starting, I believe, December 2nd. So there are some options to get this product on sale. Now, moving on, we also have Alleyoop. This was sent to me. They also sent me a few other items, but so far this is what I've tried. And this is called Sassy Pants, and the product is Stack Yachts. The color is Sassy Pants. And I think this is just a really nice travel cream product. You know, this is something I think would be great for like a stocking stuffer, and just if you travel a lot, it's a great little compact thing. So yes, I'd pick it up again, or well, I would purchase this myself, and I think that's a nice product, but I don't think it's like the best ever or anything. So moving on, we have the Hakuhodo Winter Lights brush set. Would I purchase this again? Yes, I would. So I love, mine's a little dirty just from eyeshadow on my hands, but you can see here this beautiful, it's a pinky lavender gradient. It's pretty light. I love the matte texture of the handles, and this set is primarily all goat hair, which I think is getting harder to find. So I thought this was a nice set to pick up, and I'm really happy with it. I think it's a nice set of basics. It would also make a beautiful gift. And the Christian Louboutin, this one here is, what shade is this one? This is the Just Nude, I believe. Yes, 332F in their liquid matte lipsticks. And, you know, it's really, you know, pretty packaging. It can be a little bit of a pain to store. I found this to be drying. I would not purchase this again. I also found the colors online. Their promotional photos are a lot cooler in tone than they are in real life. So the real product is much warmer in tone in the two shades I picked up. So these I would pass on. Moving on to Suku Holiday, and I have to say, I love the whole collection. This happens so often with Suku. It's just so hard to, you know, find anything wrong with any of the Suku items. This lavender powder here, I am using all the time. This and the Givenchy Prism Libra Holiday Powder, those are my two go-tos right now. And I use them pretty much I use one of them every day. So it's just such a beautiful product. And then eyeshadow palettes, I love this one. This is 117. Let's just go ahead and swatch this one briefly. But we also have, you know, the new matte lip balm, which I've been wearing every day. It's on my desk right now because I love it. And when I like my lipstick's fading or something like that, I will top that off with the lip balm while I'm out. And I just think it is just a wonderful collection. The Moisture Rich lipsticks are a great product. The blushes, here's one of the blushes. This one, you know, it's just such a great everyday shade. It's 137. So I have to say, everything that they launched in this collection, I was underwhelmed when I originally saw the photos. I really love this collection. You know, this is just a collection of great things to wear every day. And it's a holiday collection that's not focusing just on like gold and silver. So I love that. And I love how it actually has more of an elevated everyday look. And, you know, I love wild and crazy colors, but I also love my neutrals. And I think this collection is just such a great balance of slightly elevated neutrals. Now, moving on to the Burberry eyeshadow and lipstick. So it's a pricey palette, but I really like it. I think the formulas on here are incredible. So yes, I would purchase this again. Yes, I would purchase the lipsticks again. There are 3 of them. Now, I did already have one in the permanent packaging. I just didn't realize it at the time. But yeah, I would pick these up again. This one here, though, is my favorite in the lipsticks. This is 120 Olympia Red. And you can see, although it looks more like a burgundy shade in the bullet, it's really going to be more of a bright fuchsia plum. So I think it's really such a beautiful shade. It's very similar, though, to the Guerlain Rouge G, what's that one called? Berry, whatever. What word are they using in their holiday ones right now? But it's the berry shade in the Rouge G velvets for the holiday collection this year. And I have to say, you know, very similar, but this will be a satin version. So I think definitely great options. I would pick up both of those again. Another item that I would definitely pick up again is the VF 90s palette. So looking at it, it does look very, very gray, very cool tone. It is a cool tone palette, but we do actually have some cooler tone browns in here as well. So I have been wearing this palette pretty much nonstop. So any day that I'm not filming, this is really one of the palettes I've been reaching for the most. So I would definitely pick this up again. I think it's really a really awesome palette. Next up, one of my favorite products is this Valde lipstick case. I mean, look at this. It's a limited edition case. It's actually less expensive than the cases in their permanent line though. I think this makes a great gift. I'm hoping to get the red one. I missed out on it when it was on sale, so I'm trying to find that one. But this particular lipstick shade, I do really like the shade on me now. Like I wasn't so, you know, fond of it when I first picked it up, but I do find this one to be a little bit drier. So I would pass on this one and go with my favorite shade, Curiosity again. This one here is called... I'm drawing a blank, so I'll put the name on the screen. I have to look that one up because it does not seem to be labeled on the actual tube. Am I missing it? No, it's not on there. So it is on the little like case that it comes in. So I will check that name and put that on the screen. Moving on, we have the Youthforia primer, and this was gifted to me. And I have to say, I am loving this primer. So it's made in Korea. It's, you know, kind of like a clean beauty type thing as well. It has a 6-month shelf life. I have been wearing this or my Surratt primer like every day. This is very similar in texture to the Dior Forever Skin Veil Primer, which is another one of my favorites. This one does have SPF, but I feel like the two of these are pretty equivalent on the skin. So it's a really great product. I've been reaching for this one a ton. You can see I've actually used quite a bit of this already. So very happy with this primer, and it's definitely one that will go into my rotation. So I find it hard to find a primer that I really like. So, you know, there aren't too many. This has made it to that list. So moving on, we have the By Terry liquid brush. This is the Brightening CC liquid blush in number 1 Rosy Flash. And I would put this one down as a maybe. So I think the product is great. I think it looks beautiful on it. I don't love the applicator. So I don't really like these ones that you click up and you've got the brush and so forth. I find them hard to clean. I don't love the applicator. So I would put this one as a maybe. I would pick it up if it were on sale. I would not pay full price for it solely because of that. But I do think it looks absolutely beautiful on the skin, and it's a really beautiful color. The formula is great. So this one goes as a maybe. Moving on, we have the newest Rephr brushes. This one here is 35. So we have brushes, what was it? I think it was 33 through 37 are the new brushes. And actually, the majority of mine are dirty right now. This is the only one I could find that is clean. And I have to say, if these shapes are new to you, they're definitely worth picking up, especially while Rephr has 50% off. So it looks like the set has sold out right now. However, you can buy all the brushes individually from the set, and those still seem to be available at the time of this filming. So I would recommend them. You know, I think if you can get Rephr brushes on sale, it's like a no-brainer. I think that is definitely a great choice. So definitely take advantage of that 50% off while they're doing it. And then we have the Pat McGrath Color Mascaras. This is the one in Ultraviolet Blue. I actually have not opened the pink or the teal yet. I love this blue. I've been wearing this all the time, and I find that if I put on just a little bit, I just get one of those, like it just accentuates the look a little bit without looking very blue. If you want it very blue, you want to layer it on or use like a white primer underneath. But I am just really, really enjoying this. So very happy with this. This would definitely be a yes, at least in the ultraviolet blue. All right, moving on, we have a new lid luster from Victoria Beckham in Velvet. And I have to say, you know, I think this one looks really nice. Just put it right up here at the top. I like the color. I like the formula. You know, I like her lid lusters in general, but it wasn't really what I was expecting. I was expecting something a little bit more olive green, and this is definitely more of an antique gold with a touch of olive. So You know, honestly, I think this one would have to go into a maybe as well. Like, I was just a little disappointed with the color, but I do actually like the product. So, you know, it's probably a yes. I'd probably buy this one again. But again, I was just a little disappointed that it wasn't more green. So, moving on, we have La Bouche Rouge. This is the Jean Vito Rossi set. And I picked up the silver lipstick case. This is a lip balm, and I really like the color of this lip balm. It's one that I have been wearing a lot. You can see it's just going to be like a soft nude peach. And you can build this up and get a bit more color. I also think that oh, this is the wrong one. But I think the red shade that comes with it is also a really nice red. So I would pick the set up again. I also think it makes a great gift. And moving on to Calecim skincare, I'm kind of, I'm really loving the Calecim skincare right now, particularly that serum and the multi-action cream. Those are my two favorite products from them, and I've been using the whole line, but I particularly love those. And that's a line that you can integrate with other skincare items, from other brands and things very easily. So I love them, and I've made them a permanent part of my routine. So those are probably going to be holy grails for me, but we'll hold out for a few more months to see how it goes over that time, but I'll have an update then. But definitely really loving it. And I'm noticing differences in my skin. Like, it just feels a little bit more bouncy, a little bit, just rejuvenated. So overall, really loving that. We also have the new Pat McGrath blush in Nude Venus 2. I really like this blush shade. And I also picked up the highlighter that came out then. And the highlighter is a little bit, I don't love the highlighter on my coloring. I think it's going to be better on other people. I think it's a nice formula. So I personally would pass on the highlight, but I would pick up this Nude Venus 2 blush, which you can see is going to be more of a peachy nude. So really loving that. We also have some new satin lipsticks from Hermes, which I have not seen made available here in the US yet. I purchased mine from Selfridges. And this is the shade 82 Rouge Vigne. And just wanted to put that next to, so I put that one right here. You can see it's more red than the Burberry. So just wanted to compare those. You can see this one's definitely going to have a bit more of a reddish pink vibe to it. But I really like the new shades that they came out with. And yeah, I think they're great. I can't wait for them to be available in the US, which should be happening. They are permanent shades. Moving on to foundations. The Clé de Peau, the foundation, this is what's on my skin right now. It's become a go-to. I'm actually doing a side-by-side test right now that I'm working on with the Chanel Sublimage, which has come out with new shades. So I've been doing these, I've been wearing these like every other day, kind of like comparing them. But I really love this formula. It's very expensive. I plan on using every drop in this jar, but I really love it. It gives me like youthful, dewy skin. For the winter time in particular, I think this is a really great foundation. It gives me a little bit of hydration. It looks very natural. You really don't look like you have foundation on. When they say skincare mixed with foundation, a lot of times, I think that stuff's just crap. You've got, it's really just makeup with a little bit of skincare. This actually seems more like a skincare product with a little bit of makeup in it. So it's kind of the reverse in a way. So because it really feels more like a moussey moisturizer, and I'm really enjoying it. So that would be a yes to the repurchase of that. And then I also picked up the Guerlain foundations, which I'm not sure where I put those, but I do really like the formulas of those. The colors that I ended up with were too light. They're lighter than I was expecting, and I did order online. So I'm actually going to give those to my cousin who is more fair than I am. So I must have already put those in a box to send to her. But yes, I just beware of the color. The color differences from their L'Essentiel line, because the L'Essentiel line, everything's deeper than these are. These definitely are lighter with the same number. So yeah, I like the formulas, but so I guess that's a maybe. If you can get a good color or you could see it in person, I would pick it up because the formula is nice, but Yeah, I don't love it as much as the Clé de Peau foundation though. So I'd put that one as a maybe. Then we have the Pat McGrath Liquid Lusts. So these are liquid lipsticks. This was my first time trying them. And I actually did a video on these and realized one of mine had rolled underneath my desk and I didn't see it till afterwards. So I do have another one that I have not shown yet. But I really like these. So I think these are way better than the CL liquid lipstick that we talked about before. And they've got the metallics, which I really like. They also have the solid mattes. I think the formula is great. It's pretty comfortable on the lips. And, you know, I think this is a really great product. So I would take advantage of this during her sale if you're interested. So they are part of some of her $12 lip sale for Cyber Monday. So definitely check them out if you're interested in a matte liquid lip or a metallic liquid lip. I really like these ones. Now, just to show you my favorite, this is metallic in Rose Divinity. By the way, the red cases are metallic. The black ones are your regular mattes. So I just think it's a really beautiful product, and this will dry down to a matte metallic finish. So this one again is Rose Divinity. Moving on to Tom Ford, we have the highlighter duos, and I picked up 3 of these. This one here is my favorite. This one is Peach Light. And this one, I love this one. I would definitely pick this up again. And I actually really like all of the ones I picked up, so I would pick those up again. I'd probably, for the other 2 that I picked up, that was Mood Light and Nude Light. I'd probably wait for those on sale, but the Peach Light I love so much. I would pay for full price for this one. And then I also have the Contour Duo, which I'm not sure where I just put that one. I just had it in my hands a second ago. But the Contour Duo, the Cream Duo in the 0.5. And, you know, I'd put that as a maybe because, you know, right now at this time of year, I'm not really using it a ton. I think I'll use it more in the warmer months. I think it's a nice product. I do wish that the shade was slightly cooler in tone than it is. It's a little bit warmer than I was hoping for, but I like the product a lot. So I would repurchase that one. But again, I try to get that one on sale. I think it's kind of expensive for me, for somebody who does not contour or bronze that often. You know, it's not worth paying full price for. If you are somebody who uses products like that frequently, that might be a different story. But for my particular uses, you know, I would buy it again, but on sale. And next up, we have the Chikuhodo Zen series. And I really love this series. I think it's really great. It is hard to get. So they restock in very small amounts periodically, but it will probably just be a limited series at some point very soon. So this one here is considered an eyeshadow brush. And, you know, I particularly love this shape, but I like it for highlight. It's a little bit too large for me to use on the eyes, but I think it's a great highlight brush, or if you want to pat under the eyes with some powder, or like around the nose and so forth. So I think, you know, this is probably my favorite brush from the set. I believe this is the ZE3. They don't keep the numbers on here, but if I'm wrong, I'll put the number on the screen. So I really love that set, and I would purchase the whole set again, but if you're looking for just one brush to try from there, I would definitely consider this one. This one is my favorite. And we also have the Chanel Sublimage Concealer, and I have to say I really love this concealer. The only thing I don't love is that this is a pretty messy, it just gets very messy. So you can see in my lid, I actually just had to clean this out. But this, you know, you have just like the foundation, you have this like heavy duty plastic thing here. You have to fold this down. But every time I lift mine up and down, I get a little seepage around the edges, which gets in here. And actually my actual plastic lid here, this thing, ended up getting stuck in here. And I had to use something to pry it off to get that back where it needed to go after cleaning it off. So, and you know, it's just sitting straight on my vanity. It's not going on its side or anything like that. So I just find it to be a little bit messy. So I don't love that, but I think the product itself is really one of the best concealers. So, you know, it's not going to be as full coverage as something like the Clé de Peau concealer, but I really like it. It is definitely, you can build this up to get pretty full coverage. I still think Clé de Peau's got more coverage, but It's got, again, like that kind of that moussey moisturizer kind of texture to it. So it really doesn't cake up or anything. I would definitely purchase that again. I think that concealer is well worth it. The brush it comes with, I don't like. I don't use it at all. But the actual concealer itself, I think is fantastic. And next we have Victoria Beckham Jewel Eyeliners. I did pick up all three, but these are just two of them. These two are my favorite. We have Sequin Green here, which is more like what I was expecting the velvet lid luster look like. And I think this is gorgeous. So I hope she does come out with a lid luster like that. But you can use this all over the eyes as eyeshadow, which is what I do with this one sometimes. And then this one I actually have on today. This is going to be in Night Flash. And you can see it's kind of a deep gray with blue shimmer to it. So I really am enjoying these, really like these. The gold one though, I find is not as present as I was hoping. It's almost like the base on it is just a little bit too translucent. So I don't love that one as much because I just don't feel like it's as visible. You know, I was hoping for something a little bit more gold, but it's nice on, I just don't love it. So I'd pass on the gold. I would get the Night Flash and the Sequin Green. So yeah, those are really nice. Then we move on to Viseart. And this is the Viseart Le Marais palette. And I think this is a really nice set of warm neutrals. So if you're in the market for warm neutrals, everything in here performs very nicely. You've got some nice pops of color. It really reminds me of your quintessential fall leaves, like a harvest picture and so forth. And yeah, I'd pick this one up again. Viseart is having an amazing sale, up to 50% off on their website. So definitely a great way to get that. Also, Muse Beauty Pro is another great place. You can get sets, and some of the sets include things like Esom brushes and so forth. And so I think those are two great places to buy them. And Camera Ready Cosmetics also has them for 15% off right now. So just some options if you're searching and you're looking for other things. So let's move on to the Goldfish brush. I have to say, I don't have too many paddle shaped brushes. I have found that I absolutely love this shape, and this brush in particular, I love. This has become, you know, a go-to brush for me for dusting on loose setting powder. I absolutely love this. I think it is beautiful. You can get this in either a silver or a gold ferrule, but look at the goldfish on here. So beautiful. So this is from Iihoto. I bought this one from Fude Beauty. I would definitely pick that up again. This is the Laura Mercier Lip Crayon in Elodie. I'm not sure if I said that correctly. It's a really pretty petal pink shade, but I just don't love this formula. It's an okay formula, but I don't love it, so I would not pick this one up again. I'd pass on that. Next, we have the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Pillow Talk Beautifying Face Palette. This is the fair to medium one, and I'm wearing this today. I really like this palette. This is the first palette of hers that I picked up like this. And, you know, I do think that from year to year, they usually look fairly similar, but I really like this one. I'm glad I picked this up. If you don't already have other palettes of hers like this, or you have different color stories, this might be a good one to add to the collection. I love the packaging on here as well. So overall, yeah, this I would repurchase. And then we also have the Chantecaille Lotus series. So the Lotus series, I don't like packaging. So I've talked about that before. The products inside are good. This is the blur powder, and you can see it's lighter than the original. But I found that I actually think this one's not as blurring as the original. So honestly, I'd pass on this. I just think there are better ones on the market nowadays. So yeah, you know, I was really hoping they would come out with something more similar to their, this one, a Cle de Peau powder, which was my favorite. And in shade, it's going to be more similar. You can see here's the shade, and they're closer in tone. But by the way, the Chantecaille Glow Powder is going to have a little bit of a shimmer to it. Not much though. But this is just such a superior powder in my opinion. I find that this one is pretty firm. It's just not as effective at blurring as the original in my opinion. I'm not sure why that is, but I just don't love it. So I'd pass on that. Now the highlighter, This is a maybe product because it's a gorgeous highlighter. I like the formula, I like the color, but it's also, you know, one that's very similar to other shades that you probably already have in your collection, especially if you have a Chantecaille highlighter. So, you know, with the packaging not being something that I love, I'd probably pass on this one in the future. But the actual product inside, I really like that. And then as for the blush, I actually like the blush more than I thought, but it was definitely a lot lighter than expected on my skin. So, you know, it looks pretty deep. The one I received was broken, so I returned it and got a refund for that. But, you know, it's a nice shimmery shade of blush, but honestly, I'd pass on it. I find that the RMS shimmery blushes are just better than that one. And you've got more color options and it's a lot less expensive. So honestly, the Chantecaille holiday collection, I feel like that one could totally be a pass and you'd be totally fine passing on everything from that. And I do hope that they go to prettier packaging next time. I'm not sure why they used the lotus root instead of the flower, but it was an interesting choice. I just don't love it. I feel like the packaging itself and the colors used were just not very elevated. Now moving on to Givenchy Holiday. The eyeshadow palette I had ordered. I pre-ordered it from Neiman Marcus, but they have since removed the listing and they canceled my order. So I guess it's not coming to the US. I'm not really sure. But this powder here in Lumiere Polaire, I love this. This is the one that I've been alternating with the Suku lavender powder. So I have this one on today. I think Givenchy Prisme Libre powders are, you know, some of the best out there. It's a classic for a reason. I have a few of these. Absolutely love them. Would definitely pick that up again. The lipsticks, I actually already had the one sheer velvet in there, which I really like. If you like the packaging on these, pick it up in the limited edition packaging. However, it is also available in permanent. This one here is $3.38, and this is one of the new lipsticks in their new satin line, which has not arrived in the US yet. So you can see that compared with these other shades here. It's kind of in between the Burberry and the Hermes. So it's kind of an in-between shade. I'm not sure if this will be a permanent shade or not, but if you want to try the new satin version from Givenchy, it's called Intense Silk, by the way. This is one of those shades and I really like it. I think it's a great formula, and from Feel Unique I did pick up some other permanent shades in there. I don't know if they have the full line though. I did not see this color listed on that site, so we'll have to wait and see, I guess, if this one is permanent or limited edition shade, but it was not available when I purchased the other shades from the permanent line. Next, we also have the Pat McGrath 5-pan palettes, and I really like them. This one here is my favorite. This one is Bronze Bliss. And yeah, you know, I would pick these up again. And again, she's got some awesome sales going on right now. If you want both of them, do buy them as a set because you do get a little savings, and then you can get a percentage from her sale on top of that. So I really like these. Pick those up again. Chanel Holiday. I have to say, I think this is a nice highlighter. It's a little bit deep for me. This is Or Rose. And it's a little bit too large for me. So me, myself, I would pass on this for my coloring, but I do think that the actual formula and product is gorgeous. So if you have deeper coloring and that is a shade that would work for you, this would be worth picking up. For me, it's going to end up being a pass just because, you know, there's no way I'm going to get through this size and so forth. So, you know, the other items from the collection, the Eye Duo. Well, the Eye Duo, I actually like that for lip gloss, so I think that's nice. I also, you know, overall, I think the collection's a maybe. It's an okay collection, but I don't love it as much as others. So would I pick things up from there again? Yes, but, you know, there's just, I think there are better things out there. So it's like between a maybe and a yes, but I did pick up the lip lock. I really like that shade. And the eye gloss I like as a lip gloss. Now, this is the lock that I picked up. This is going to be number 88 Rose Mystère. Let me just go ahead and put that right there. I think it's a really beautiful color. So this actually is probably the product that I like the most out of the ones I picked up. I did not pick up the full collection. So this would definitely be a repurchase. The eye gloss, you know, I like using it as a lip gloss. Is it necessary? No. So you could definitely pass on that. And again, the highlighter, I think for different skin tones, it would be a yes. For me personally, it's going to be a pass. And next we have the Viola FR blush. And actually, I like that so much, I picked up the other 2 shades. And let me just open one of those to show you. And then here's the Viola FR blush. So this is one of the shades I haven't tried yet. You do have a brush on one end. And in my video, I had said I didn't think you could remove the brush, and somebody did correct me on that. And yes, it does screw off. So you can take that off for cleaning, which I think is really a good feature there. So that goes in there. And then on this side, you have a beautiful marbled blush. I mean, look at this. So pretty. This one here is the shade Inez. And yeah, I can't wait to try this one out. So there are 3 shades, and she named them all after her friends or her muses. So really beautiful. Love this product. Definitely will pick this up again. This formula is up there with the Cle de Peau and Cream White, Kier Weiss that I really like. So Westman Atelier, it's up there with all of those. And next up we have the Fusion Eye Set from Sonia G. Most of mine are dirty, actually. I use these all the time. This is a builder brush. This one is dirty because I used it today. But I really love those, and I would like to get a second set of those at some point. So that first set was actually gifted to me from Sonia G and Beautylish, so I really appreciate that. But definitely worth getting, and I do plan on picking up a second set of those in the future. And then we have the Dior Backstage palette. And I think this is an okay palette. Like, it's nice. It's what I'm wearing today. It's going to give you, you know, in general, like kind of softer green looks. But with all of the green palettes that have come out this year, I do feel like there are others that are just better than this one. So for me, this one would be a pass, although I do like the palette. And I feel like if it came out at a different time, it would be worth it. But with everything else that's come out, I just think this one kind of goes to the bottom of the list. And the quality in the Backstage palettes, I don't think is as good as the Quince. So I just don't love it. It's an okay product. And moving on with the Charlotte Tilbury Pop Shots. These are the Pop Shots, and I think the packaging on them is super cute. And I love the actual eyeshadows. The formulas all feel a little bit different. You know, let's go ahead. We'll put this right here. So there are some that are going to be, like this is going to be kind of more of a sheer base with, you know, you've got multicolored sparkle. You can build this up. It's definitely not a translucent shade by any means. But then you also have, that by the way was Emerald Eyes. Then you have Cosmic Rocks, which is going to be creamier, more finely milled. This is going to be like a multi-chrome shade. And, you know, I think it is really, I just really love these. I think these are great. I like having them in the little singles. By the way, this is very similar to the Pat McGrath single that she came out with earlier in the year. This one here. So this one is the VR Sextra Galactic. And the shades on these are very similar. This, however, is going to be a little bit more like a smoother formula. It's not really silicone type, but it is like smoother like a silicone finish, whereas this is more of a creamy powder type formula. So they do feel a little different, but you can see that visually they are very similar. Next, we have the Tom Ford Holiday Collection. This one is Chalet Lust. I would definitely pass on this. This is just kind of like soft, glittery, not really pigmented. You know, I just don't love this one. And I also think that, you know, in general, I love these formulas, but I feel like this one is a little bit messier than than the company usually creates with these. So I feel like it's just a bit messier in general. Like the glitter doesn't really stay put. So I would pass on this. Après Ski, I think, is a better formula, but I do have a similar color story already. So honestly, I'd pass on both of these. However, if you are interested in the Après Ski, color story, this one is a good formula. It's really nice. These both, by the way, are technically the Wet and Dry. So, you know, this is definitely something worth getting if this is a color story you do not already have. But you know, I think these shades are just so similar to other things that have come out recently that in general, it's going to be a pass for me. All right, moving on, we have the Suku pre-holiday collection, and I'm just going to give that a blanket yes. That was one of my favorite collections of all this year, so definitely an incredible collection. So I'm just going to say yes to that, and let's move on. We have the Guerlain holiday collection, and I didn't pick up the eyeshadow palette, but you know, again, we've got a gel gloss, kind of like the Chanel here. I really like this one on the lips, but you can use this in other places. I like this one more than the Chanel because it's a really beautiful, kind of like this rose gold shimmery shade here. You can go ahead and close this up and put this on so you guys can see this. Put that right here. And you can see it's just really beautiful and the texture is not sticky. So you can use this anywhere on the face, but I particularly like it on the lips. I don't really like to wear glosses on my eyes too frequently. And as for the lipsticks, I picked up 2 of them. Again, this is the 777. The one that I was talking about was similar to the Burberry before, and you can see it's gonna be, you know, these are all kind of in the same color family. So again, this is Guerlain 777. This is the Burberry in Olympia Red. This is Hermes in the Vigna. And then this one here is going to be and this one was the Givenchy in 338. So we've got, you know, a few that are all going to be very similar in tone, so you don't need them all, but I do really like all of those. And then the nude shade that came out, this one here, 08. Oh, that's what, right. The 777 is Berry Alchemy. This is 08 Nude Alchemy. Let me just go ahead and put this one right there. I've been wearing this all the time. It's a go-to shade. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. And then we have the Westman Atelier Petal Kit. And I have to say, I love this lit up stick in Petal. I don't always love her lit up sticks. Let's see here, where can we put this? Let's put this right here. But I really do like this one. So, you know, for me, this one, the set is a repurchase. However, it does already have the Petal Cheek Blush in there, which I already had. So I decided to give the new one to a friend who did not have it. But if you already have that and you don't have somebody to give that to, then it's probably not worth buying. But, you know, on my lips right now, I have the Petal Lip Gloss on top of the Sephora Collection Bellflower lip pencil. I think, you know, really beautiful. I love this lip gloss and I love the lit up highlighter. And of course the Petal Blush shade is a beautiful, like, everyday shade. So, you know, if you don't have that, this set is great. If you already have that and you don't have anybody to give it to, it might not be worth purchasing, but it is something to consider during the Sephora sale if it's still available when the sale happens on the 2nd. So I guess not the sale, but the one-time coupon code. So, you know, that sums up everything from October and November. And, you know, we kind of went through all of the holiday collections in this, but let me know if you'd like to see a separate video on the holiday collections and which ones were the best and so forth. We do have some holiday collections that were not in this, but were in previous months, such as Cle de Peau. So let me know what you guys think. And I'd love to hear what you've been enjoying and what you have not been enjoying these past couple of months. So please share down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and I will see you very soon. So have a wonderful day.